We begin tonight with the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk making his first court appearance in court.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Robinson there appeared virtually today before a Utah state judge. The 22-year-old was arrested last Thursday, 33 hours after the deadly shooting at Utah Valley University's campus. And Robinson does face 7 counts, including aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and violent offense committed in the presence of a child. The Utah County Attorney says he will seek the death penalty.
Charlie Kirk was murdered while engaging in one of our most sacred and cherished American rights, the bedrock of our democratic republic, the free exchange of ideas in a search for truth, understanding, and a more perfect union.
And prosecutors also read off what they describe as incriminating text messages that they say Robinson sent to his roommate.
The roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson, I'm sorry.
And we are also following developments in another high-profile criminal case. A judge has thrown out 2 of the most serious charges against Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing a prominent healthcare CEO. On Capitol Hill, FBI Director Kash Patel faced tough questions from senators about the Charlie Kirk investigation, the Jeffrey Epstein files, and President Trump's immigration crackdown. The Federal Reserve Board of Governors is kicking off its 2-day policy meeting. The Fed is widely expected to cut interest rates and what that could mean for the economy. Also, we are saying goodbye to a true Hollywood legend. Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. We'll take a look back at some of his most iconic roles. But we do begin with CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman joining us there. Katrina, I want to ask you about this court appearance. What stood out to you from his initial court appearance today?
So one thing that felt notable is Tyler Robinson just stared straight ahead, showing no emotion as these charges were read, even when he learned that he could face the death penalty in this case. He was also wearing a suicide vest. This is used sometimes in high-profile cases, but feels especially notable because during that press conference today, we learned that Tyler Robinson's parents were worried that he might harm himself. When they started to discover that it was potentially their son who had committed this crime, they were reaching out to him. His mother asked him where he was. Initially, he said that he was sick. Then she asked him for a photo of his rifle because he had a very distinctive rifle that belonged to his grandfather. And we learned that he told them he wanted to take his own life, but they convinced him to come over that day and then ultimately to turn himself in.
And Katrina, prosecutors gave a lengthy press conference today. What did they reveal about Robinson and what they believe he did after this shooting?
So we learned so many details about those hours between when this incident happened and when he finally turned himself in. You were reading those text messages between him and his roommate, who was also a romantic partner, how he was telling them to look for that note. It also came out, he seemed to really confess to this crime in these messages. We learned a bit about his mindset as well, that he felt Charlie Kirk was spreading hate, that he wanted to put a stop to it, and then more details about what happened behind the scenes with his parents, how they ultimately had a sheriff friend come over who convinced him to turn himself in. He told Robinson to bring evidence with him, but Robinson had already not had his weapon anymore. He had gotten rid of his clothing. An interesting detail, too, is we had seen that he had sort of a distinctive gait when he was walking in that video. And what they revealed during the press conference is it's because he was carrying a rifle in his pant leg. That is how he concealed it. And they really gave us the play-by-play of how he got on that roof, how he got off and fled the scene. So we just learned so many details about the evidence that they're compiling in this case against Tyler Robinson, which ultimately they will have to present to the judge at the next hearing to show that they have probable cause to move forward with this before there is an arraignment.
All right, Katrina Kaufman, thank you very much for joining us there from Utah.